One of the things that I read about you was that you worked in a sand mine when you were young. That you dug sand all
Yeah,
day.
yeah, that was growing up. I was about 10 years old when I started that because I was in the village, and where I grew up. After my leaving my aunt's house, I went to my grandma, and we had to like do something. We had to work to contribute at home, to buy oil, to buy food, and also for our scholarship, for books. So you have to work, and that's how we started. Even though that work was meant for adult, but we didn't have any option, so we take what we had at the time.
Growing up doing something like that, that's got to, first of all, it had to be very difficult. Like
Very
digging
difficult.
sand,
Yeah,
it's also your body must develop very strong from doing something like that. At 10 years old, like as you're growing, as you're maturing, doing something that's that difficult, I mean,
yeah.
it must have made you really fucking strong.
Uh, yeah. I hope so. But what I
Well,
was,
obviously it did, but it's just genetics too. There's a lot of good things that came your way that way, but also the difficulty of doing something when you're that young, such hard labor. I mean, it had to teach you discipline. There had to be like some positive. It's terrible that you had to do that at 10, but
yeah.
there had to be some positive aspects of it, some positive repercussions of
Oh,
it.
definitely. I mean, I didn't like my life, and I always feel like I miss my childhood. Like it's
Mm,
something missing in it because it's been too much frustration in
yeah.
my life. Like I had to work by that age, and it wasn't enough. Like when school starts all the time, I gonna go to school, and most of the time still didn't have a pen to take note or a notebook to write on it. Sometimes no shoes or clothes, just have to wear like my uniform was tear all over, and I was frustrated to look around and see other kids looking good. They went to they went in vacation to this family member, came back with all brand new stuff, and I was just there looking crappy with my. I had to like take my old book and look for an empty page to take a note, expecting, hoping that when I have a book, I'll copy the note from this year in the new book. But
Mm.
at first, I always had to use the old book. And most of the time, teachers, they don't understand why you don't have a book. They don't understand why you don't have a pen. Sometimes they just think that you didn't tell your parents. You should uh, tell your parents so they can buy it for you. They don't understand that you can not just afford it. Your parent can't, and they'll kick you out from the classroom. Maybe just
Really?
to say, go tell your parents, and
And you couldn't tell them we can't afford it. You didn't want to say it.
then they knew,
They
but
knew.
what can they do?
Right.
Nothing, because most of the time it's gonna be even with the money that I worked that they're gonna buy my pen or my book.
Yeah.
But you work sometime and they don't pay you right away. It's maybe after months, So all the process, and sometimes they'll just kick you out from the school because of the scholarship fee. You haven't paid on time, so they kick you out. So I was subject of shame to
Mm.
other kids,
Yeah.
because all the time when they kick you out in front of 50, 60 students, it's not a good thing, you know. And I couldn't have a friend because you know how things work. You have to be able to bring something on the table to enjoy, you know. But since you don't even have a pen or a book to take note, nobody expect you to bring a lunch, or to buy something in the break time to share with them. So they don't want to share with you since they don't have any hope that you will have something to share with them. And I was always in retreat. I always stay in retreat. And that's how I technically grew up by myself. I end up like not even trying to have a friend. I'm like, okay, this is my situation. Maybe I feel okay, just retreat myself, not just to try all the time and get shame of it all the time.
Yeah.
You know, I retreat and don't have to deal with these people with their opinion on me. And but that motivated me at some point. I'm like, damn, look, this kid, they are looking at me like I'm worth nothing, but technically I worth more than them because I'm working, you know, even though what I have is less than what they have. I deserve what I have. I work hard for it, and they don't deserve shit. They are just a kid.
Right.
They work, and their parents provide for them. I'm not just lucky. I'm not just lucky to have the chance, but I'm still trying, which means I'm not bad at the end of the day, you know. So that pushed me to, like, from there, I wanted something to prove them wrong. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something that's gonna prove this kid that I'm not beneath them.
So that gave you motivation.
Yes, that gave me motivation because that frustration, I was full of frustration, and I want to, like, drive this into something. Like, I have to prove them. I can't go to the party. I can't have friends as anyone, and I have to work hard than anyone. You know, my school was like, my middle school was, I think, about 6 miles from home. So it took me almost 2 hours to get at school.
So you walked.
Yeah, so I walked around about 2 hours. And before meet the first student is at least after like 40 minutes walk, you know. So I have to wake up at 5, just get ready, start work. Sometime with not eating. Then I get to school, and the school close at maybe 4 to 5. But since I didn't eat in the morning, by noon, 1 or 2, I'm hungry, I'm starving. I can't take it anymore.
Buongiorno ragazzoli miei, il video continua in versione integrale su Patreon, 18 minuti di traduzione per sentire tutta l'incredibile storia di Francis Ngannou. Il costo è di soli 3 euro all'anno e sostenete il canale. Se volete aiutare il canale potete farlo anche nell'altro link che trovate nel commento in evidenza, ovvero quello di NinjaBet. Chi è già dentro, e sono in tanti, lo sa già che in questo mese ci stiamo divertendo un sacco con il bonus fedeltà di Bwin. Gli altri stanno a guardare oppure criticano con ignoranza, ma ci sta. Vi saluto, vi ringrazio e alla prossima. Ciao!